Good evening, sir. I'm Gauri, and today I have Radhe with me. So, first of all, I would like to thank you for doing this for us. And the second thing is a very warm welcome from Team Chintana and the EEE Department of Dine Sagar. So, if you could just give a small introduction about yourself, that would be great.
Yeah, so introduction, I myself have been part of Chintana for 3 years, I believe,
All
from
right.
second year all the way to the fourth year.
Mm-hmm.
So I was actually part of the editing and the content writing team.
All
And
right.
yeah, so as you might be aware, I completed my triple from the college in 2019, I believe. Yes, 2019.
Okay.
And yeah, so I have, as of now, pretty much 5 years of experience, all working as
Okay.
a software engineer. I got placed right out of college.
Okay.
And yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much brief about me. Currently, I'm working with Apple. But before this, I've been associated with Paytm as well as Bridge IT.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Amazing, sir. A very delightful introduction, I must say, sir. Sir, apart from this designing and also content writing, sir, are there any other hobbies or interests that you have, which is also kind of complementing to your current software engineer job?
Okay, I don't know about complimenting, but yes, I do like to, read a lot, right?
Mm. Yes.
Be it reading technical blogs
Mhm.
or be it reading fiction, non-fiction, anything. So reading is something that I have done. I believe I read my first book when I was 14 or 15, back in my school days. And as I went into college and I discovered multiple technical blogs, I liked reading those. In college, I had a brief stint where I dipped my hand into writing technical content as well. And I had a small blog on WordPress, hosted on WordPress, where I used to write small articles on how things work, be it how front end works, how back end works. That was a pretty brief stint. So yeah, and as far as complementing my current skill as a software engineer is concerned, so yes, reading has helped a lot, right? Like I mentioned, I read pretty much anything technical that I can find my hands on, right? So be it any company's technical blogs, be it Uber's, Netflix, Google's technical blogs, or be it some article that I came across on Medium or things like that. So yes, that is a hobby that has helped me a lot.
Amazing, sir. Amazing.
Sir, when
Good.
you were in engineering, what year exactly, if you could just give us a time frame, did you start working on your skills required for the industry, especially software?
So I believe it was in first semester when the CS department hosted a technical workshop. That workshop was called Android workshop, right?
All right.
Android with Google or something, that the workshop was called, and the seniors of the CS department had hosted it. I came to know about that workshop because I had my friends in the CS department, right?
All right.
I just kind of went along with my friends to give them company. So they were going, so I went along with it. And that was my first interaction with how code works and
Okay.
what exactly is coding, what exactly is programming. So that was the first time that I got to experience it. I got to work on it practically throughout the workshop. And that kind of started a whole chain reaction. And that is how I landed up the current job that I am at Apple. So that
All
kind
right,
of
sir.
started the whole process of me getting
Okay.
into software engineering, right? Yeah.
Sir, so when we're in a core branch, especially like electrical and electronics, where
Mhm.
the subjects innate, they're very hard. So how exactly did you acquire your software skills and also work towards achieving a good GPA while
Right. So I
studying?
don't know about good GPA. I had 8 point something. I don't remember exactly. So I'm not sure if that is good or not. But I kind of, it's all about how much weightage you give to what aspect of your life at any point of time. For example, when I had my unit test, when I had my assignments, or when I had the seminars, I kind of used to give up on coding. I did not used to code at all, and
All
my
right,
whole
sir.
focus was on electrical subjects,
All right.
just before exams and assignments and all those things. But
Mm-hmm.
apart from that, on a day-to-day basis, I I generally had my focus on how I could gain skills that could help me be better at software engineering.
All right, sir.
That is how you kind of find a balance. Exactly.
Okay.
So it's not about one size fits all. So you have to prioritize. Let's say you are already good at electrical subjects, right? And you're
All right,
not
sir.
good at programming. So in that case, you need to give more weightage to how much time you spend on programming, how much time you spend on doing real life projects, and less time on actually studying the electrical subjects.
Fair enough, sir. Done.
So it's all about finding the right balance there.
All
Yes,
right,
sir.
sir.
Sir, since you have mentioned about starting your coding journey, sir, many of us start from DSA, data structures and algorithms. And one thing about DSA is that no matter how much ever we practice it, no matter uh, how much variety of questions we practice, we still can't get that sort of confidence in DSA, sir. So please advise us as to how to get that hang in DSA.
Right. So see, one of the mistakes that I believe the fresh graduates or people, the students who are in college, they make is they directly go into DSA.
Yes, sir.
So that is a big no-no. If you take my opinion, that is a big no-no for me.
All
Like
right.
if you don't have a real life experience about what exactly is your code doing, right? So if you don't know how your code is translating into solving real life problems, right?
All right, sir.
I'll give you an instance. So, like I mentioned about the workshop, the Android workshop. So, the first thing that they helped us make there was a calculator app, a very basic calculator app, which kind of did only the basic mathematics, plus, minus, multiplication, and
Division.
division, right? And when I ran that code for the first time in my own Android phone, I got that feeling like, okay, I wrote some codes and
Yes,
this is
sir.
how it translates, right?
Okay.
This is how I'm getting to touch my code, right? I'm
All
getting
right,
to
sir.
feel my code on my physical phone,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So unless you have that zeal or that understanding towards what exactly is your code doing, DSA, if I say it is just a tool to do what you want to do.
All right, sir.
People who don't know DSA, they can also code. People who know DSA, they can also code. The only
All right,
difference is people who know DSA, they are better at coding in terms of optimizing the code, right?
all right,
So
sir.
if you don't know DSA, your code might only be used by 100 of people at one time. But if you know DSA, that code can be optimized to be used by 10,000 users at a single point of time. So
Fair,
that
sir.
is the difference. So if you directly jump into DSA, it feels like it just feels like another subject in college.
All
And
right,
you're
sir.
forced to uh, mug up this stuff. For example, the binary search algorithm. You're forced to mug it up because
All
you
right.
don't really understand what is going under the hood. Why exactly is binary search being used?
Yes,
All
sir.
right, sir.
Right. So that is why I say that it is a big no-no for me to for a student to directly go into DSA. Start with a project, see how you feel about actually coding, programming, how you feel about it. And then when you use DSA and you apply that same principle to your existing project, you'll feel like, okay, this is the difference that I can feel. So this is why DSA helps.
Fair, sir. Got it.
So yeah, that is a thing. So start with a project and then move on to a DSA. Or you can do it parallelly as well. But yes, don't directly jump
Yes,
into DSA.
yes, sir. So coming on to the next question, sir. So there are a lot of innovations and the trend is rapidly growing, sir, in case of IT industries. So how exactly do we keep ourselves updated with the growing trend in technology, sir?
Again, I'll answer it with the same thing. Read a lot. So
Okay.
software engineering is a field where you cannot say that, okay, I got a job, right? I am at what pay package I expected. I am in what company I expected. Now you can just relax and not read about anything.
Yes, sir.
If you don't keep on updating yourself on new technologies, you're bound to be replaced by it.
Fair, sir.
The same goes for the recent trend in using Gen AI. So that
Okay.
is happening across the industry,
Yes,
right?
sir.
So and so Gen AI, if you think about it, it kind of complements what a software engineer does,
All
right?
right, sir.
So if you're not reading about it, if you're not upskilling yourself on how to use that to your advantage, right? somebody else who is doing the same thing would be at a better position than you.
Right, sir. So,
Reading about a lot of stuff, keeping yourself updated is the only way to go.
sir, so adding on to that, there are several soft skills which we have to acquire, like public speaking and content writing. How vital are they to our position when once we gain our position in the industry?
So when you say soft skills, I believe you mean the communication skills.
Yes,
Communicate, exactly, sir.
public
Yes.
speaking and content writing, something
See,
along those lines.
content writing, again, it's a personal choice, right?
All right, sir.
If you want to go that way, if you want to have writing, if you want to go that way, you can have your blog. You can be very, active content writer and put things up. But the other thing is the communication skill is very important.
All
Right.
right, sir.
So, from the point of view of a student, I'll tell you, what exactly is important is the fact that you need to communicate your thoughts with the interviewer to land a better job. And you can't do that unless you're good at speaking, right?
Obviously. Yes,
Right.
Yes,
sir.
sir.
So when it comes to the interviews, the software engineering interviews, the thing is that the interviewers don't care. I myself have taken interviews for Paytm. I have taken almost 30 to 40 interviews. And
Yes,
the interviewers don't focus on whether or not you're able to solve the problem. They're only
okay.
focusing on how you're communicating your thoughts and what is the level of clarity with which you can communicate what exactly you're thinking. Right?
Got it, sir.
Let's say in your mind you are able to solve that problem, but you're stuck somewhere, and at that point of time in the interview, you're not able to express yourself like where exactly you're stuck. Then the
All right,
interview
sir.
also can't help you, right? So that
All
is
right, sir.
communication skills is very important, and you have to learn to speak your thoughts, what exactly you're thinking. You need to express yourself clearly, and yeah, that is a very big thing when it comes down to interviews.
Right, sir.
Yes, sir. So as you have suggested us to keep on reading on new trends, sir. So can you suggest some reliable resources, sir, that we can read on regularly? Is it
Uh,
newsletters or some websites? Or...
Yeah, like I mentioned, you can read about any company's tech. Let's say you like a company. Let's say you use Netflix on a daily basis, right? To watch shows,
Yes.
to watch TVs, and you want to learn how exactly are the things working there, right? Like how
Yes.
exactly is
Okay.
the does this streaming platform works? How exactly is Netflix solving this problem so that their streaming service is flawless for millions of users across the globe, right? The thing with these companies is they are pretty much very open about how they do stuff, and
All
you
right, sir.
read about these things on Netflix technical blogs. So
Yes, sir.
every company has their own technical blog, and they like sharing what and how they are solving the problem, what problems they are solving, and how they are solving.
Right,
So
sir.
it's only about that. And the thing is, let's say you took an Uber ride, right? And you're curious about how things are working on the back end, how a driver is able to accept your ride in a matter of couple of milliseconds, right?
Yes, sir.
So they are very open about it. They put everything on their website. You just have to find a thing that you're excited about, go for it, look on that company's website and start reading about it. Like in the beginning, the contents can be quite overwhelming, especially for a student. But the thing is to be consistent on that. So let's say you
Right, sir.
come across a word, high scale. That is a random word that from the top of my head. And as a student, you're not aware about what exactly that is. But when
Yes,
you
sir.
read like 10s and 20s of blog, you just kind of get a hang of it. What exactly does that mean?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes.
that is how it works.
Yes, sir. So coming on to next question. Sir, you must have heard about the term recession going on a lot nowadays. So, the people who are sitting in campus placement right now are finding a hard time getting a job.
Hmm.
So, they are trying off campus also. So, can you share your thoughts on how harder it is to get a job off campus and how can we ease it in?
See, for a fresher just who is just out of college,
Yes,
um, especially right now, the companies, they are open to people from across, across tiers of college, that is called like the tier one, tier two, tier three. They are
yes,
also okay with people having no degree at all, no technical degree at all.
Okay, sir.
So they don't care whether you are a BTech from what college or whether you are a BTech or not, right? As long as you can show that, okay, you have worked on some projects, right? It all comes down to building your profile, right?
All right, sir.
For example, having your projects hosted on GitHub so that
All right.
it is a publicly available repository where you can just share your link with the recruiters and they would be able to see what exactly you have done,
Yes,
right?
sir.
yes,
Then there is lead code where you can share how many, the competition that lead code hosts, like what exactly is your rating there. So if you are very active on that, and let's say you have built a very good reputation across the competition, you can show, that skill there. And the companies, they won't care whether you are from a college or not.
All right, sir.
exactly. Yes,
So, in terms of the recession going on and all those things, if you are skilled enough, right? See, companies are hiring, right? I recently switched a job, and there are many companies who are desperate to hire good engineers. So
All
again,
right, sir.
I will focus more on that. That is good engineers.
All right, sir.
Right? So it's
um,
not like, again, the same stuff that I mentioned. You cannot just mug up 4 algorithms, go sit in an interview and expect that the interview will ask about those 4 algorithms only. You
yes,
All
have
right, sir.
to you have to communicate clearly what exactly you're thinking, how good you are at solving a problem. So it all
Okay,
comes
sir.
down to your problem solving skills, right? So
Yes, sir.
recession and everything, that is one thing that a student especially should not focus on. There are
All right,
always
sir.
jobs, right? There are always companies who are looking for good engineers. And if you're good at what you're doing, you should be able to land a job in placement or outside of college as well.
Yes, sir.
Reach out to people on LinkedIn. This is something that I'm talking about in terms of getting a job outside of college. Let's say for some reason you're not able to get a job in college,
All
right?
right, sir.
So, I will share a very funny incident with you. In college, I was actually placed in Accenture.
All right,
yes,
sir.
we know, sir. Yes,
Yes. So I
mm,
was actually placed with Accenture, but the thing is, I was not, satisfied with the kind of job role that they were giving, the kind of job description that they had, right? So even though I had that job, I kept on looking for a job on my own outside of college.
Okay, sir.
Bridge I2I was the first company that I went into. That
Mm.
company came for placement in college as well, right? But I believe the EEE department, I'm not sure exactly, but I believe the
Okay.
EEE department was not eligible to sit in their interview, right?
Okay, sir.
I approached them outside campus,
Okay.
and that is how I was able to get an interview scheduled and I was able to land a job with them. So,
Yes,
amazing.
sir. So we basically exhaust our options within and outside college.
exactly. So just because you got a job in college does not mean that that is the end of the line.
All
If you're
right,
not
sir.
Yes,
satisfied with it, go on LinkedIn, find some people who are already working in a company that you want to be part of, reach out to them, request them, share your profile with them. If they really like it, they'll definitely refer you.
All
And
right, sir.
yeah, so you can definitely get a job outside of college as well.
Sir, while we're in the line of this, especially when we're sitting for college placements, there are a lot of software engineers along with other fields sitting for placements. How exactly do we fine tune our profile such that we stand out?
Okay. So there are two school of thoughts basically. One is that people would tell you to kind of fine tune your resume to be company specific.
All right.
I have not done that.
Okay.
I had one resume for me and I used that to apply in all the companies that I had. Yes. One thing is
Okay.
I definitely kept on updating that resume whenever I found out, like, if I did something personal or if I did something that I felt like was a great achievement for me personally in work or in personal life. So I definitely mentioned that on my resume, right?
Okay, sir.
And in terms of how college students should fine tune their resume, I should definitely say that they should spend a considerable amount of time in creating their resume. So it's not like you can find a template online and just write anything there.
Okay, sir.
Right? You have to show some impactful work that you have done, like how you have made somebody's life easier as a software engineer, right?
Yes,
What
sir.
impact has your project made, right? Why
Okay.
exactly you did what you did. So those
Okay.
kind of things and those kind of skills, if you mention on your resume, companies will definitely, I mean, approach you after
All
you have
right, sir.
them. So yeah, that is one of the things. So
Yes.
uh, spend considerable time amount of time creating your resume, understand how a resume works, okay,
All right, sir.
and then apply for any company.
Sir, a follow-up question on this. You said that so for a period of 5 years you worked in three different companies.
Mhm.
How exactly did you alter your resume such that you fit into the mold they wanted you to work for?
Right. So exactly. So like I mentioned, I always kept on updating the resume, or I always kept up a list of things that I personally believed that was outstanding. Right.
All right,
I
sir.
did not need any validations. If I felt like I did something that was good, let's say if I
Yes.
made a project, right? If I made a project that helped even one person, or it helped multiple people, so I made it a point to make a note of it, and when I was updating my resume, I definitely mentioned that,
Added.
right? So when, for example, let's say a company X is hiring for software engineers with skills in Java, MySQL, Spring, and those kind of things, right?
Okay, sir.
They mention these keywords, and you know that you have worked on these things, right?
Okay.
So you mention that on your resume, saying that created this project using Java, Spring, MySQL, and this kind of things, right? So the company is looking for those skills, and you have already worked on it. It is just how you write it on your resume and how your resume translates. I mean, what exactly you have done.
Sir, just a follow-up question on this. How important is LinkedIn within all this? Like, how does LinkedIn play its role?
How does LinkedIn what?
How does LinkedIn play its role while acquiring a job?
Oh, it like I mentioned, the networking thing. LinkedIn is a
Okay.
great tool, right?
Okay.
Reach out to people in organizations or industries that you want to work into, right?
Okay, sir.
Let's say you want to work in a fintech industry, right?
Okay.
You find out people who are working in Razorpay, you find out people who are working on PhonePay, right?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Follow them, you send a request saying that, okay, I want to get into this industry, right? And if it's okay, could you share something that, I mean, that could help me be better in terms of getting into this industry? Like what
Okay,
I
sir.
can do better. So the thing is, if you reach out to 200 people, right, at least one or two of them would get back to you. And at the
Yes.
end, you only need one person to refer you, or one job where you want to get into, right?
Fair, sir. Good
Don't
point.
hesitate to reach out. Even if you're working in an organization, I have seen a problem with, and this is something that I mean, I faced when I was fresh in corporate. So I was actually kind of hesitant reaching out to people,
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
be it on LinkedIn or be it on real life.
Okay.
So that is
Mhm.
one thing. Reach out to people on LinkedIn in the industry, in the company, in the skills that you want to go into, and definitely ask them to refer you if you want to go into a company, or ask them what exactly is that industry looking for,
Fair, sir.
right?
Got it.
Uh, so, this is a question on a personal level, sir. Sir, as you said, you were quite hesitant in approaching, sir. So, how exactly did you overcome that uh, attitude, I would say, uh, to, be more open about your
See, after you
approaching?
after you break productions one or two times, after your code has uh, done some considerable damage to your team, you kind of catch up, right? So
Understood.
that is actually how I did. I was quite hesitant, and it kind of impacted my work, right?
Mm.
So the thing was, when something was assigned to me, I could not reach out to my seniors and ask them what exactly am I supposed to do. I always felt and this is something that I believe a lot of students go through, that is called as
Yes.
imposter
Yes.
syndrome, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
that was the thing. I felt like if somebody is 5 or 6 years senior than me, how can I, being just a fresher, reach out to them and ask them what exactly am I supposed to do, right? So, like I mentioned, 1 or 2 times when you mess up, you kind of just catch up on that. And I mean, if I have to give advice on that, I would say that don't be hesitant to reach out from your first day. Nobody expects you, just being just out of college. Nobody expects you to write in professional level of code or solve a problem on a very professional level that people with 10 years or 15 years of experience are doing.
Right, sir.
All right. So, sir, coming on to the choice of language, sir. Even Satish sir has informed us about how well versed you were in Java since your college days, sir. So, how exactly did you make this choice, sir, and how much Java is helping you to be relevant with industries nowadays?
See, the thing is, I did not specifically choose Java. Okay.
Okay, sir.
How I went into Java is with the same thing, that Android workshop that I went into. During that time in 2015, and Android Studio or Google only supported Java as its programming language. Nowadays, it supports Kotlin as well, and it primarily supports it. In fact, it primarily supports Kotlin these days. But back in the day, it used to support only Java, and Android applications could only be built using Java native Android application.
Okay, sir.
And I had no experience working on Java, or what exactly is Java and those kind of things, right? My my friends, they had this subject Java in their semester, but I had no formal education in Java, right?
Okay, sir.
Just dived into coding, right? And if it was Python, I might as well have started with Python.
Okay.
If Android was done on Python, I might as well have started on Python.
So it
So
was just a situational thing.
it was just a situation, and
Situation.
as in how I kind of learned more and more about Java, I liked it as a language. I liked how verbose it was in terms of, uh, I mean, and that is one of the reasons why company these days, I mean, company in fact at Apple and at Google and all the FANGs company that are, so they also prefer Java for their backend applications. I mean, they have other applications, but they mostly focus on Java because it is very verbose, right? So
Yes.
if I wrote a piece of code and I left this company, somebody who is coming after me needs to understand that code and work on top of that, right?
Yes, sir.
Java helps with this.
Okay, sir.
That is the primary reason why Java is preferred over other languages.
Right, sir.
So, does that make Java a compulsory language to learn if you want to?
No. Again, like I mentioned, nobody, if you're giving an interview, nobody is going to judge you on your language skills.
Okay, sir.
Right?
Okay,
You can write your, I mean, not that anybody uses it, but you can give an interview in PHP. Nobody would stop you, right? Even though it's
yes.
an obsolete technology, people would be okay with it as long as you are solving the problem.
Okay, sir.
Learning a language is something that you can, once you know how to solve a problem, learning a new language is something that you can do in a couple of days of time.
Yes,
Fine,
sir,
sir. Fine.
exactly. Yes.
So language is not an issue. You can start with any language that speaks to you, that you're comfortable with, and then you can learn 10 different languages in a span of a week's time.
Right, sir.
Yeah.
Right. Also, sir, let's deviate the topic a little bit. Sir, as AI is getting onto the trend nowadays, there are a lot of apps and tools, sir. So, is there any app or tool which you use, which is quite also underrated and everybody should use it?
It's not underrated. Actually, I go with the trend on this one. I use ChatGPT way too much.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Like way too much.
Yes.
And in terms of this again, seconds to the point that I was talking about earlier. If you don't adapt yourself with new technologies, you are bound to be replaced by it. Right?
Right, sir.
Same thing
Right.
goes here. If I mean, ChatGPT ever since it came, my proficiency has increased in terms of I don't have to focus on basic issues like whether I'm making a syntax error or not. Again, this also goes to say that if you know something, if you know how to solve a problem in, let's say, Python, you can use ChatGPT to translate that Python code into Java.
Yes, sir.
You don't
Yes,
need
sir.
that,
Yes.
right? So I don't specifically use a technology that is underrated. Again,
Okay, sir.
I go with the trend. I use ChatGPT very, very heavily, and I use it on my day-to-day basis for
Right,
my
sir.
person. Yeah.
Also, sir, since you have spent quite a lot of time in Paytm, sir, around 4 years, I guess, and you have been through a lot of projects also, sir, obviously. So, can you walk us through any challenging problem that you faced, or any memorable project that you approached or done?
Yes, actually, see, this also speaks to the thing that I was talking about, where you want to see how your code is affecting the real world, right?
Yes.
At
Yes.
Paytm, I got to see that, and at Paytm, I was working on a project. So it basically worked with I mean, all the leading metros of India, even Bangalore Metro, Delhi Metro, Hyderabad Metro, all of this. So I'm not sure if you have seen it, but RuPay issues a card called as NCMC card. So that is one card fits all. You can have that one card and travel across all metros in India, right? And I worked on developing the backend for that for Paytm.
All
And
right, sir.
as it happened, one day I was in Delhi and I was using Delhi Metro to travel, and I saw a big board of Paytm advertising about that particular card. And a guy was sitting there who was just distributing that card. I took that card. I traveled on the metro using that card. When I came back home, I kind of tried to look for the exact transaction that I made on a
Okay, sir.
specific terminal, right? And on the dashboard, I was able to see it, and it felt good, because I mean, it felt good to see that your code was being used on a day-to-day basis by hundreds of people.
Right, sir.
So that was very, very interesting and very memorable for me, and
Okay, sir.
it felt good, and I really felt motivated after that. That the thing that I'm doing at Paytm, I can again physically see that the changes that I'm doing,
Right,
and the
sir.
feature that the sale feature, the whole transactions life cycle feature that was developed by me. And I kind of felt good traveling in the metro that, okay, this is working flawlessly, just exactly the way that I wrote. So yeah,
Right, sir.
that was very interesting.
So before we move on to the next question, there might be a 45-minute cut here. So in case it does get cut, we'll have to reiterate the question, but
Sure.
I'll ask it anyway.
Mhm.
So on a lighter note, what advice would you give a EEE student or an IT student who is just setting out to learn software and get placed?
Uh, Again, so one of the things I would say is start with a project thing. Do at least 3 or 4 projects before you start applying for jobs.
All
Okay,
right, sir.
and reach out to companies for internship when you are in, I mean, third semester, fourth semester of your college. Don't
All
be
right.
hesitant and don't just lay back saying that, okay, I'm just in second year, what company will hire me? Right?
Okay, sir.
I started my internship in fourth semester, I believe.
Okay,
And
sir.
it was a startup which had only like 10 people in it,
Right, sir.
right? And that the things that I got to work on, I mean, in that company, I still cherish it. I still,
Okay, sir.
I still,
Yes, sir.
I still thank that company for teaching me how to build fast, right?
Right,
How
sir.
to learn
Yes.
fast and build fast.
Right,
Yes.
sir.
So that is one advice that I would definitely like to give. Don't be hesitant to reach out to startups. Don't just focus on the big companies like I want to get into Microsoft, otherwise I won't get placed at all.
All right, sir.
Right?
Um,
Reach out to small startups. Bangalore is a great place to be. Right? Reach out to
Yes, sir.
small startups. Don't be hesitant to reach out for a company that has only like 4 people in it that has just started. You'll
All
get
right, sir.
you'll get to understand what problems they are solving and how they're solving it.
Right,
Right?
sir.
And on top of that, I mean, it's okay if you don't want to go into internship. If you don't want to go the internship way, then work on your own projects.
Right, sir.
Some projects to do, find a problem that you want to solve. Doesn't matter if an app is already there for it.
All
You
right,
build
sir.
the app again, right? You don't even have to publish it. Just complete that project, post it on your GitHub, so that
Yes.
later on you can showcase that okay, this is something that you have done.
All
And
right, sir.
like the things that you learn here, while you are developing that app or a project, that will stay with you
All
wherever.
right, sir.
So these are the two things. Then after that, I would suggest once you have started working on a language, once you know how code works, then move on to DSA, because DSA is very important.
Right, sir.
Projects are important, but see, at the end of the day, you have to solve DSA problems to crack an interview.
All
Okay.
right, sir.
Yes.
Sir, just a follow-up question on that. How long after you've learned how to build projects does it take to get the hang of DSA?
You can do it parallelly.
All right.
For example, let's say, again, I'll give you a search example. Let's say you're building an application that kind of tells you, so you type in it that I stored this key at this place, and you saved
Right,
it
sir.
and you forgot about it. Then later on, you just open that app, okay, and you find out, okay, I need to search for my key. I need to find out where is it. So there you are actually you're actually searching for something inside the application.
Right, sir.
So
Right.
do it. Before you know any search algorithm, do it. Without any algorithms, do it manually. Look for it on the web, Google. Find out how to solve that problem. Then do it, and then
Right, sir.
you solve the same problem again after learning searching algorithms.
Right, sir.
Right.
That is the way to go. So I would not say that, okay, complete 2 projects and then move on to DSA. You can do it parallelly.
Okay, sir.
So
Fair,
the
sir.
only point here is that you should understand what you're doing. So
Right.
that would end up in you not, mugging up the approaches that there are, right?
Right, sir. Got it.
Right. So, sir, as you have mentioned, your contributions in the Paytm, sir. So, while switching the company, sir, how does it feel to switch it after contributing so much from your side to a company? Yes.
Definitely not good, right?
Yes.
So if you work on something for 1 year, 2 year, you give your everything to develop that project, and
Yes.
then you have to leave it. You have to leave
That's
that
also.
certain comfort, because if you're
Yes.
working on something for 2 years, you know that thing in and out,
Yes,
and
sir.
then
Yes.
to leave it everything in the middle and then move to a new company where you are again expected to start learning a new project, a new thing from
Yes.
scratch, right? So it's not. It isn't. It has its shares of emotions. It's not
Emotion. Yes.
easy, right?
Yes.
But again, it's part of growing. So
Right, sir.
I switched because I felt like I learned whatever I wanted to at Paytm at
All
that
right,
point of time, right? So that was one of the main reasons why I felt like, okay, I know now how to solve problems for a particular country, right? Now I want to explore how an MNC works, how a company which works with works with customers from across the globe. How does that company work?
all right, sir.
Okay? So
So, how exactly, Apple being such a prolific company, sir? So, how exactly does it separate from other companies who are trying to make it, sir? I mean, what exactly a typical day for you looks like in Apple, sir?
typical day it's quite same for all the companies that I work with. You have to, so you have a feature to work on. You work on that feature. Then there are, if there are some issues with the previous feature that you have worked on, you try to fix those, right? And yeah, so that is pretty much it. So developing sometimes, like for in my case, I got to work on a whole product in Paytm.
All
So
right, sir.
the Rupee card thing that I'm talking about, so
Mhm.
I worked on it since its inception. I
All
was
right, sir.
one of the first developers that was onboarded on that project. That is a
Right.
different thing altogether. There you get to see a product being built from ground up.
Right, sir.
But that will not be the case in majority of the companies that you're going to work with. Not always. In fact, at Apple, I am working at a project which has been there for like 3 or 4 years, and I'm
Right,
joining
sir.
in the middle. So I need to understand about the whole ecosystem, how that works. So that is one of the key things in my day-to-day life since I've recently joined. So first, I need to understand the whole project and how
Yes.
that impacts end customer. Let's say I'm an Apple customer, and how the project that I'm working on, how it impacts me as a customer, right?
Right, sir.
Where does it fit into the whole Apple ecosystem,
Right.
right?
Sir, so like when you spoke about Apple and understanding the entire ecosystem,
Mhm.
when you introduce a particular software product within the hardware, do they keep in mind the specifics of that device, or should it be compatible with every Apple device they've come up
No,
with?
it should be compatible with every device. You don't work on a specific device.
All right, sir. So it's more like you're working on the entire collection.
Yeah, that is how it is. You have to,
Okay.
and you also have to keep in mind about all the future use cases that might arise, and your code should be able to handle that.
Right,
So
sir.
it should not be like you have developed a feature for one particular point of time, and then a later point of time in future when something on top of that, if something needs to be developed, you don't just discard the whole thing that you have done earlier.
Right, sir.
Your code should be extensible in terms of that you should be able to build on top of that. Use the
Right,
existing functionalities and build some more features on top of that,
right.
right?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Sir,
So.
so on a lighter note, if you had to relive one of your college days, or if you had the chance to do over a few things, what exactly would you do?
Wow, I would definitely participate in a lot more hackathons with my team.
Right, sir.
Yeah, I remember, I mean, all the hackathons that me and my team participated into.
Mm.
I mean, solving the problem, creating a product in 24, 48 hours of time was there. That was the main goal of the hackathon. But the whole environment that we were part of, like everybody was awake for the full 24 hours, full 48 hours. People were busy into coding. They were busy into trying to solve problems on whiteboards, and of course there is pizza and stuff. So that I would definitely want to really relive those moments again in college. Right.
Right, sir. So
So.
like if you had to like recall a funny or memorable incident from that series, what exactly would you tell us?
So in college, again, I believe in second or third year, I believe there was a hackathon hosted by the CS department, and it was hosted by back in the day. I don't know if it's still there. Microsoft Innovation Lab, is it still there?
We're not well versed with that. I
Uh,
think it should be there.
okay, so I was part of that team again. So reach out to I'm going a little off topic here,
Right,
but
sir.
if you definitely, I mean, if you are interested in going to the IT industry, and that deviates from your core branch being from EEE, that deviates from the core branch very significantly.
Right, sir.
So be more involved with the CS department. Try to find out the things that they are doing. If
Okay,
you
sir.
have your friends there,
Yes.
try to find out the hackathons that they are holding,
Right,
the
sir.
competition, quizzes, and all those things that they are holding, right? And try to be part of, I believe back in the day, we only had Microsoft Innovation Lab, but I believe there should be more coding labs by now,
Yes,
right?
sir. There's Point
Yes.
Black and all of that.
Yeah, yeah.
One.
So definitely be associated with those things if you want to make a career in software development.
Right, sir.
Be a part of club. That is very important. So
Right,
you do
sir.
your triple E stuff, but if you have made up your mind that you want to go into IT industry, you should definitely be a part of the clubs, right?
Right, sir.
Again, coming back to your question, so this was one of the hackathons hosted by MIL, and the problem that we were working on was called Baymax. We had named it Baymax, and it kind of, so Apple already has that feature now, but it did not have it back then. And this was a vehicle crash detection thing.
Right, sir.
Right? And we developed that app, but the problem came and nobody thought about this, that how are we going to test it and show it to the jury members? Yeah, I know. So at 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. in night, we are sitting there with a product fully developed, and we are trying to find out, okay, how exactly are we going to do this? We are not going to crash a real vehicle with a person sitting inside. So how are we going to test it? And that was a very funny series of events that me and my friends, I mean, my friends, they came up with very unique solutions. One of the solution was to use an RC car, right? To kind of wrap your phone around it and just crash that. But the problem with that was the algorithm would not work, right?
All
Because
right, sir.
that crash was happening inside a building and the car was too small for that.
Fair, sir.
So we did not think about this, but we were not able to demonstrate that product. We just kind of went to the PPT. But the whole discussion part that there was, during that night, so that was I mean, quite funny.
So did that go on for a very long time?
Yeah, I mean, like I mentioned it, we were ready with the product at 2 a.m. and the
Right, sir.
hackathon was supposed to end at like 10 a.m. in the morning. So
Right,
for
sir.
8 hours, we were trying to find a solution. How exactly are we going to demonstrate this? Right?
Right, sir.
And yeah, that was quite a scene.
Yes.
Right, sir.
So, sir, throughout your engineering, sir, which subject did you find the toughest, sir? Triple E subject.
All triple E subjects.
Oh.
I still don't get it. I still don't get it. So it has been a while, but I mean, now I mean, I've forgotten all the concepts that they taught in Triple E because
Right, sir.
I don't use it on a day-to-day basis. But there were quite a few subjects. I mean, I don't even remember the subjects now, to be honest.
Fair,
But
sir.
all Triple E subjects, they are tough.
I know,
Not
yes.
like CS, it's not like any other branch, right?
Yes.
And yeah.
Right, sir. Radhe, do you have any more questions for sir?
No, I think I'm done. Sir, could you give a final note?
Final note, if I know you guys only care about having a good job at this point of time, right? So final note would be find a skill that you're good at,
Right,
right?
sir.
Yes.
Find
Yes.
something, some language, some skill, be it front end, back end, anything. Do it, find out something that you're good at, work on top of it, do a project, parallelly learn DSA, and then start applying for companies, start applying for internships right out of college, be it your third semester, fourth semester. Start applying for internships and reach out to people. These are, I believe, you said like 5 or 6 things here.
Right,
Yes.
sir.
These should be enough.
Yes.
Right, sir.
Right?
Right, sir. Thank you so much for your time, sir. This has
Thank
been
you.
very helpful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye bye.